turn to Mr. Ogunjimi. If I mispronounce that, please correct me. If you'll hit the button so the red light comes on.
Good afternoon, Council Member Allen and members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to testify on the Limited Purpose Credential Clarification Acts of 2024. My name is Gbenga Ogunjimi, and I serve as the Executive Director of the Nigerian Center, an immigrant legal and social services organization. I testify today both as a DC resident and an immigrant justice advocate. First, I commend the Council for addressing the urgent needs of the migrant populations through this legislation. Expanding the list of acceptable identity documents to include expired passports and federally issued immigration documents, it's a meaningful step forward. However, there remain critical gaps in this legislation that continue to pose significant challenges for the DC migrant communities. At the Nigerian Center, we witnessed firsthand the struggle immigrants face in obtaining limited purpose credentials. For instance, Sarah, an Ethiopian client who have lived in DC for over 20 years, has been unable to secure any form of identification due to the current restrictions. Alberto, an American citizen born in Thailand to deceased American veterans, military veterans, came to us after repeated failed attempts to renew his real ID at the DMV. Without identifying and citizenship documents, he was unable and at the verge of losing his employment. Under the current laws, both Sarah and Alberto remain ineligible for limited purpose IDs due to restrictive residency and immigration requirements. 3 recommended improvements. Number 1, expand LPC's access for all DC residents. While including federally issued immigration documents as proof of identity is a positive step, limiting their use to limited purpose credentials and not driver's licenses is unnecessarily restrictive. We recommend expanding the expanded list of acceptable documents for both limited purpose IDs and driver's licenses. Furthermore, limited purpose IDs should be made available to all DC residents, regardless of their social security number eligibility. Recommendation number 2, remove residency requirements. The 6 months residency requirement is a significant barrier for immigrants. Although the bill provides a 90-day exemption requiring proof of document confiscation by CBP or ICE, is often unrealistic. We strongly recommend eliminating the residency duration requirement altogether, or at the very least, reducing it to 3 months. Number 3, authorize social and legal service providers to issue affidavits. Immigrant service providers, including IJLS grantees, should have the authority to issue affidavits of identity and residency both for LPCs and real IDs. Additionally, the DMV policy of issuing 6 months real IDs to applicants with pending USCIS cases fails to account for the lengthy timelines of immigration proceedings, which often take years. Allowing these individuals to obtain limited purpose IDs would significantly reduce barriers to identification and employment. In conclusion, an unidentifiable DC resident is an unemployable resident, creating barriers that contradicts our city's commitments to prosperity and inclusivity. By adopting these recommendations, the Council has an opportunity to invest in the future where every DC can contribute meaningfully to Washington's prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you very much.